Let's start with a little bit of entertainment for you in how do we screw up Chris's e-bike? Say hello, Chris.
You know the old phrase, measure twice, cut once? Let's not do that. Let's cut a bunch, then measure.
Yeah.
Realize you can't measure because you cut out the reference holes. Then weld it back on, probably cut it off again.
Well, Chris actually had another interesting word, and I won't give you the full word because we try to avoid that language in this shop, but it's an uneffulate, a screw up. How to. So, in the mad rush of cutting tabs off of his e-bike frame, he did something he shouldn't have done. And I'm still laughing.
What I was supposed to do was cut from here up off and then box the top end of it. In my rush to clean the frame off, I kind of forgot that I need these holes for the rear swing arm to mount to. So now it's try and line everything up and try not to botch the geometry of it, or the bike's gonna dog walk. The rear wheel might be sideways, tilted, leaning Tower of Pisa style. Who knows? It's kind of just let's not screw up fixing the screw up.
So, yes, our fix is possible. We're just going to stick the pieces back where we think they used to be, tack them in, and then do a bunch of measuring, make sure it is in the right spot, and we can still tweak it because it's just tacked. But I'm still laughing about this whole mess. Okay, well, the kid's going out for a victory smoke. We finally figured out what we're going to do, and we've decided that this thing is so freaking kitty-wampus, it's not funny anymore. So we figured out approximately where it was sitting originally, because we could use the the cut lines to figure out where we had to tack it in. So, tacked everything together with just a couple of tacks, and I'll show you another little telltale, is when we put it back together again. One of the things I told the kid is watch the curve here to make sure it lines up, because that'll be a telltale. That way we're putting in the same spot we took it out of. The other thing I notice is when we're checking level for things, we got this part, we got the frame sit in such a way that that sits level, okay? This does not sit level. It's off a bit, maybe about a 1/16 of an inch on the back side. And the frame rails themselves are different again. So what do you go by for datum? I was going by a seat figure. This is the flattest part. And the way I see it, it's about the same as where it was before we tore the thing apart. So I'm thinking, well, the kid's already decided. He's welding it where it is. Yeah, it'll be fine. With the tank, a couple things got to deal with. This is going to get closed off. You have to fix the dent. One of the easiest ways to do that is I'm going to cut out most of this. I want to keep this for mounting and this for mounting. But this whole section in here is getting cut off. And I think what I'm going to do, I never did like these seams they have on them. And I know for fuel sealing, it's an easy way to manufacture. I don't like the look of it. So what I'll probably end up doing is trimming it and welding it so it's smooth and you don't see this lip. At least that's the plan anyways. But for now, time to start cutting some holes. See where I taped on the center line. It took a while to try to figure out where it was going to go because it's more eyeball square. It was kind of weird trying to figure out where the center line was. But now that I got it on, you can see I actually have quite a bit of room underneath here. So that won't be a problem. But now I want to narrow it. And here's the thing where my best guess is I want to narrow per side about an inch to bring this in closer, and about 2 inches per side here. That'll narrow a total of 4 inches wide. I think aesthetically that's going to look about right. All right, so we're going to start tacking this thing up, and one of the reasons I did a flange and not a butt weld, because being thin and rusty, butt welding is not a practical option for this one. So my plan is to put a whole series of tacks in. I'm not, because of the nature of what this is, it's not exactly a winter-driven vehicle where I'd be really worried about it rusting out. I think I'm going to get away with just a series of tacks. I don't think I'm going to make it solid. I might change my mind later, but for now, I think we're just going to get a series of tacks in, so hopefully we can just get it to hold shape. If I can get it in the shape in the first place. There we go. Oh, before I forget, I will point out something. Every inch or so in here, there's a relief cut, a little V cut, because this has to pull in a fair bit more in order to get this to fit. Just something to keep in mind because we're dealing with a bunch of compound curves here. Okay, so we can get this thing tacked. You said about being rusty. That makes it a little thinner yet. Okay, that's the shape. I think I might put some more tacks, hammer dolly, but I think I'm going to wait before I do that. There's definitely some other stuff I need to do. Okay, trick with this thing, little bits at a time. So I've been slowly trimming a little bit, but you can see now how the fit is. We got very little gap in there, and I can always take a little bit more off. It's a little hard to put it on. However, we come to the back, and what I gotta do now is I gotta do a little bit of trimming here to get this thing to sit back in behind, sit back a little bit lower where it's supposed to fit. Not a whole lot coming off. All right, I'll start chopping. Well, that's definitely looking more chopper-esque. So, I think I've almost got it, except this in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some 1-inch round bar, and I'm gonna tap it onto this corner, try to get it to match better with this. I've got a bit of gapping around it, yet it needs to look reasonably close. I might tweak it a little bit more to get rid of some of this flare. But you know what? That is gonna do for now. Okay, so I ground down most of the weld. It's still proud, but you see I'm starting to kiss the parent material. At this stage, what I do is I come back in, I hammer this from the back side to push it up so I can get rid of the rest of the weld without taking off too much, because this is such thin material, you don't want to be grinding hardly anything off of here. Most of the time when I weld in little patches, it's not uncommon for literally to suck down in where the weld is. Now that's noticeable now. We'll take off the rest. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go with the tacking, because I don't need to close them up. This is not structural. So it's just a question of grinding it down and hammering a slight depression in where the seam is. So it's not going to be having a really bad peak on it, which is going to be a lot more filler beside it. So I'd rather have a little bit of filler on the inside than a lot of it on either side of the seam. A little bit of hacking and cutting from what was left of the bottom of the tank. And I managed to salvage tank mount. I just got to figure out where I'm going to weld it back onto. Yeah, good thing I left the marks in the front. So that's where it's going to end up. Right about there. So there you have it. One tank done and a whole bunch more parts yet to go. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Bye for now.